Now, the signing by the U.S., Egypt, Qatar and Turkey of a document on the Gaza ceasefire deal has triggered a wave of global reactions, with world leaders calling it a new chapter for peace that could bring lasting stability after 2 years of Israeli genocidal war. That's according to the UN. The document was signed on Monday during an international summit hosted by Egypt in the Red Sea resort of Sharm el-Sheikh on the deal. U.S. President Donald Trump hailed this as a tremendous day for the Middle East as he and regional leaders signed a declaration meant to cement a ceasefire in Gaza, hours after Israel and Hamas exchanged prisoners and hostages. In a joint statement signed by the participating nations, they expressed support for President Trump's efforts to end the war and achieve a lasting peace.
Some of you on the Board of Peace. Everybody wants to be on the Board of Peace. They said, would you be the chairman? I say, I'm pretty busy too. But whatever we can do to have peace in the Middle East, it's worth it. But everybody wants to go on the Board of Peace, so we're probably going to enlarge it. We're going to get, and the leaders, the top people, the top leaders, they want to be on the Board of Peace. A beautiful term. At first I wasn't sure, and then I realized how beautiful it is. And for the people of Gaza, the focus now must be on restoring the basics of a good life. We're going to have a lot of money coming into Gaza and a lot of rebuilding and building. It's not so much rebuilding, it's really building, cleaning up and building. And I'm pleased to announce that numerous countries of great wealth.
Executive Chairman of the 16th Council, Dr. Brian Rubin, joins me on What Now for more on the peace deal between Hamas and Israel. Good to have you join us, Dr. Rubin.
Thank you, Precious. Thank you for having me.
So the leaders of Egypt, Turkey and Qatar have now joined the U.S. President Donald Trump in signing a commitment to implement this plan to end the 2-year war. I mean, just speak to us about, because if you notice, this is all now seems to be happening in a whirlwind. How sustainable do you think this is in terms of the implementation of the agreement?
Thank you. First, before we talk about the sustainability, let's appreciate the fact that President Trump has accomplished something really remarkable. Now, what we're witnessing today is not just another diplomatic maneuver. It is the continuation of a very deliberate strategy. You know, from Abraham Accords to his open alignment with Israel, Trump has sought to redefine the Middle East on terms that consolidate American and Israeli interests. Israel, after years of regional isolation, now stands as the undisputed military and intelligence power in the Middle East. And its recent operation, including the strike in Doha, have showcased its ability to project force beyond these borders. So what Trump did was to leverage that dominance, using it as political capital to draw reluctant Arab states to a new framework, you know, one that rewards normalization over resistance. Now, regarding whether it is going to be sustainable or not, well, this kind of peace that is based on dominance is hardly going to last, all right? Because that is the central dilemma. Peace sustained by fear or fatigue is fragile. Real peace demands legitimacy. So unless the Palestinians have a credible political pathway in terms of governance, reconstruction, and dignity, this peace will remain at truth dressed up as a treaty. If, however, Trump and regional leaders can institutionalize the gains through security guarantees, economic reconstruction, and political inclusion, then yes, it can evolve into a stable order. The Middle East has changed, and the politics must catch up with the reality.
Whilst the ceasefire agreement seems to be, which is the first phase of the agreement, the ceasefire, then the return of hostages and prisoners, people are wondering because Hamas and Israel have not agreed on the details of the Gaza's post-war governance. There is the territory's reconstruction. There is Israel's demand that Hamas disarm. And Israel has hinted that it may resume military operations if its demands are not met. I mean, in terms of just beyond commending President Trump, are you not concerned about potential points of failure in this plan?
Yes, that's why I said that. So President Trump and regional leaders has to build on this. What has happened is a good step. It is commendable. There is not sufficient. Do you understand? Because what we say is a peace that was achieved through dominance of Israel as a regional power in the Middle East. Now that's not enough, except there is clear vision, and the Palestinians can also see a clear pathway, all right, to their evolving. That will never be sufficient. In other words, it's very fragile. But what I mean is that it is a good thing that many past administration has not been able to achieve. And the fact that he's achieved that is a good step in the right direction. But it can't be left at it. It's not enough. So we have to bring vision on it. The Palestinians have to see their future. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to sustain it. So yes, I'm worried about that.
So is it to actually build on it or to go back to the drawing board and make corrections?
I need to also recognize the fact that it is good progress.
Dr. Ruben, I was asking you if this is the idea, or the good idea is to actually build on what they have now, or to actually go back to the drawing board and make corrections, rewrite this whole thing, because it would seem that the agreement seems to be taking into cognizance the events of October the 7th and everything that happened, after that, and not necessarily all accumulated issues.
Actually, I didn't quite get that question. If you could repeat it, I would appreciate that.
I was asking you if you do not find the peace plan defective, because it would seem like it is taking into cognizance the event of the October 7th and then everything that happened after that, and not necessarily all of the issues since 1948.
Yes, again, that's why I emphasize that it is a good start. But it is not sufficient. Okay. And the only way you can perfect it is to have something that all parties can actually agree on. So the cessation of military operation presents an opportunity for further conversation which can still, hear me?
Yes, your network seems to be breaking, but we can hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay, fantastic. So yes, I was saying that it is not, what has happened is not sufficient. I have said that over and over again, all right? But the fact that there is cessation of military operations gives us a chance to even further look at the ideas, look at everybody's interest and see how situations can improve. But the only way we can improve the plan is to have a plan in the first instance. So the fact that this plan has been signed off by the stakeholders involved, it's a good thing, and there is definitely need for improvement of it so that we look beyond October 7, because October 7 is a result of what has been going on, and that issue hasn't yet been addressed fully with the plan.
So how do you then take into consideration all of other issues that has happened before October the 7th?
Sorry, again, I didn't get that.
I was asking you how the plan can then take, because you're talking about improving the plan, and I was saying how can they then take into consideration all of the issues that has happened just before October the 7th?
Well, it is further engagements, all right? The important thing is that right now there is cessation of military operations. Palestinians are returning home, and then we can begin reconstruction. It is an ongoing thing. It's not going to end in one day. And if the issues are not addressed, the anger and the resentment that is there has not all been taken care of, right? What we have seen is that it's like we've returned to the situation before October the 7th. And the only thing that can give us something sustainable, the only thing that can deal with the real issues that have been there for decades, is by addressing those issues. The issue of the Palestinian people, their place in Palestine, the two-state solution, those are things that still need to be addressed. But right now, as I said, diplomacy can be a long-term project. But we recognize that it's been a good effort and there is need for further improvement. That can only happen in an atmosphere that we have, at least people are not dying, right? are not being killed right now. So it is a good thing, and I maintain it needs to be improved on.
All right, let's talk about the Board of Peace, which is meant to govern Gaza. Speak to the legitimacy of an international committee that would be governing a future Gaza.
Yeah, so it's important that there is such a committee because, again, it is easier for the interests of everybody, the interests of Israel and the Palestinian people to be taken into consideration, right? So it is a good thing that there is a neutral body, all right, that wants to, that is given the responsibility of governing Gaza, because Hamas cannot bring about the governance that is required for a peaceful region. Those are some of the issues. So it is important. Yes, it's a good step. Again, it also gives opportunity for the interest of the Palestinian people to be clearly represented. So it's a good thing that there is that board of peace. I just hope that the members of that board will understand the weight of the responsibility, the demands upon them, because this is not just about it's not just about a temporary situation. We want to see peace in the Middle East. We want to see progress. We want to see Israel at peace with their neighbors. We want to see the Palestinian nations prospering. We want to see the Palestinian people moving forward and achieving their own dreams. We want to see the cessation of wars permanently. So again, the Board of Peace is a good thing. It's a neutral body, because we cannot trust the United Nations to actually deal with that issue. The United Nations has failed. It seems the United Nations has outlived its usefulness, because there have been several wars and you can't find the United Nations being able to effectively address even one of them. So I think a Board of Peace could just be the way to go.
And we hope that board also has fair representation for both sides. It's always a pleasure to have you on, Executive Chairman of the 16th Council, Dr. Brian Reuben.